Thanks for tuning in. This will be one of a series of audios and videos that you'll have available to you as you run through the reinforcement sessions associated with selling value. You know, in the program the other day, which we loved being part of, and for the feedback we've had, you got a lot of value. We also know that in a short session like that, there is just a lot to learn, and the reality is when you get back to the workplace, a lot is either forgotten or not being able to use effectively, and as a result you lose the skills or the learnings aren't put into practice. So we're going to run a series of reinforcement programs to help you build what you've learned into your everyday work as a professional salesperson. In this first session, I want to talk a little bit about the characteristics that drive salespeople to sell more. You know, experts have pondered about this for years, and they've pondered about what they are, and why is it so perplexing that different people with the same background, the same products, the same experience, and often the same training, and a deep knowledge in their products, have vastly different outcomes in their sales results. Why? Why do you think this might be? Well, remember in the course we talked about the 5 ingredients for a successful salesperson. It really comes back to those 5 ingredients. Let's just reflect on what they were for a moment. First of all, goal conviction. This is where we talked about the need to have an absolute commitment and conviction to your goals, clarity in your goals. It's part of you visualizing your future. And once you visualize your future, you find yourself being drawn through to it, and your behavior and activities result as a direct result of that vision, of that long-term goal. And when you break that goal down to separate objectives that are measurable, smart objectives, it can drive your activity and give you energy in your activity. Leading author Brian Tracy, that some of you may have read or listened to, stated, and I quote, "There is a direct relationship between the level of clarity you have about who you are and what you want, and virtually everything else you accomplish in life." Interesting thought. To reinforce that, there's been many studies done about the importance of having goals that you're convicted to, that is clear and are driving you as a human being. We all need them. There's a writer called Mark McCormack in a book that he wrote about what they don't teach you at Harvard. He wrote about a study that was done with a graduating MBA class, and the students were asked, have you set clear written goals for your future and made plans to accomplish them? Interesting response. 3% only of this class had written goals. 13% had fairly clear goals in their mind, but they hadn't written them down. And 84% had no clarity in goals at all. They really hadn't thought through their goals. Their main goal was to finish school, finish university, and then they'd think about where they were going. They went and spoke to those students 10 years later and assessed where they had got to in life. And it was really interesting. The 13% that had goals but not written down ended up having twice the earnings of the other 84% that had no goals. But the driving information that really made us all sit up and think is that only the 3% that had written goals had 10 times the earnings on an average of all the other 97%. That was the power of written goals. This, I believe, correlates perfectly with salespeople. The salespeople that demonstrate success, that drive results year in, year out, that we all look up to as the top salespeople, they all have one thing in common. They are driven by goals. So we need to talk more about that in a moment. The second area of the 5 areas that we talked about is ensuring you have energy to achieve, achievement energy. You know, the energy does come from the goals, but we need to make sure it's driven. We all have latent power, but without goals, that latent power stays pretty dormant, unutilised. And we need to turn it on with the goals, turn it on to ensure that we are driving with passion. You see, the people with passion are the ones that get results, get attention, move forward. We need to believe in our goals and believe in what we're doing and believe in ourselves. So the goals are important, and the energy that flows from that are vitally important. We need to feel worthy of the achievements that we're putting in place. So energy is automatically released by setting those goals and making sure we have an absolute conviction of the goals. But energy is relative to your inner beliefs and desires. The greater your persistence, the greater the unwavering determination, the greater the never give up attitude that we see in many people generally comes directly from the goals they've got, which drives the energy they've got and the commitment they've got. So the energy drives you to learn what you must do to be successful. So that's the next flow on, right? It motivates you to develop the skills to move forward towards your goals. The third area that we talked about was emotional intelligence. It's the ability to understand feelings and emotions that impact your behaviour. It's also the ability to be able to control what you do, how you do it, and do difficult things to achieve your success. The difference between those with and those without emotional intelligence are typically successful people. Those that have that emotional intelligence can drive their success, can relate to people. Those that don't struggle. It's something you can learn and develop. So we're not saying it's something you're born with. It's really important to understand you can develop your emotional intelligence, and your success will result from it. It's willing to do the little things every day that move you towards your goal, no matter where you are right now. You know, we're all somewhere down the path towards where we want to be. Some are early in the stages, some are really advanced and doing extremely well. With really good emotional intelligence, you'll be able to will yourselves to do those little things every day. And those those that don't do that will find that they're unwilling, unable, and incapable of doing the things they need to do to be successful. So emotional intelligence, a vital ingredient of the 5 ingredients we talk about. The fourth was relationship skills. You know, the ability to connect with people, the ability to see through the eyes of other people and to be able to understand them and listen to them and relate to them, and then be able to communicate with them to help them achieve what they want to achieve. A focus on the other person. You know, I said it before and said it many times. We tend to get back in tenfold what we give. The important thing is that we do give and that we do understand how to develop a relationship where we drive value for the other person. Demonstrating good relationship skills means many things, but the key thing is you need to be able to flex your own behaviour to communicate in a way that other people will respect you, that respects other people. We talked in training about the 4 relationship styles, and it's important that you use those on a regular basis to help understand how to relate to other people. The 5th were the areas of principles and process. Your outcomes are best achieved when you embrace those principles that we discussed. In every stage of the training, every module of the training course, we put up 4 key principles that you need to embrace in that area of the process. And you need to apply it in the process, in the ad-anct process, if you remember the process. Your sales process is a sales communications framework. So the 4 previous ingredients that we discussed now feed into a process and a framework that's able to leverage those to get results. So what we've given you is a proven framework that provides success for people in effectively selling, provided you have the 4 other ingredients that we discussed. You know, customers base decisions on the outcomes they will achieve, business outcomes. They are looking to address their challenges and solve their problems. They're looking to get value. And we've said it many times, they're not looking for your product. So the last thing we want to do is go and try and sell our product. What we want to do is solve the problems. What we want to do is help them address the challenges they're facing in their business. And yes, our product will be part of the solution of that. But let's put the horse before the cart. The horse is what the customer is looking for, the values. The cart just follows. And it will follow if you drive the horse in the direction it needs to go. So, customer value, and that's why we called the whole program Selling Value, is absolutely critical to you providing value that will lead to the results you're looking for, a win-win in the sales. Process will maximize value. The process we gave you, the ad-anct process, will maximize that value. It will help you drive valued and trusted relationships on top of the relationship skills we discussed as the 4th ingredient. So we're moving into a reinforcement program now. The extent, and I'd just like to reinforce some of the point, the extent to which you possess the 5 ingredients we've discussed, you will sell well. The more you apply and grow and build experience in those 5 ingredients, you will sell more. Strengthen them and you'll get corresponding success. Wherever you are on the success curve, you will be able to step further by applying these 5 ingredients or the 4 previous ingredients over the top of the principles and process that we discussed. It's important to recognize that these 5 ingredients are not intellectually gained. You just can't learn them and then it's part of you. It's gained through experience, and this is why we're going to have this reinforcement program over the next few weeks. You must apply the principles on an ongoing basis and get more and more practiced at applying them so it starts to become second nature. So you need to practice your thinking patterns. You need to take these sort of actions over time and reinforce it. We'll be working with you through that between now and out the next number of weeks or months, and we look forward to doing that. But please apply yourself and you'll get massive return on investment. I'll guarantee it. So let's just sum up. Goal conviction is critical. For the reinforcement program, be ready to share these goals. Make sure you put some time and effort into developing them. Make sure they're specific, they stretch you, but don't build them too high. If you're going to build a stretch objective now or a goal that you really don't believe you can make, you probably won't get conviction to that goal and therefore it's not going to drive you. Okay, make sense? As per the Harvard study, write it down. You need to read them regularly, you need to visualize, even to the point, if necessary, of drawing some pictures that depict you when you have achieved the goals. You will get doubts. What are you going to do about those? Because they can be so debilitating that they stop you achieving. So when you get a doubt, just say to yourself, stop. I'm going to stop doing this doubting. I'm going to stop doubting that I haven't got the abilities, right? Then turn around and start visualizing the rewards you're going to get when you achieve your goal. So stop doubt, visualize rewards. You can do this 100 times a day, as many as you possibly can. Whenever you have any little doubt in your mind, start visualizing the rewards. You'll find that will drive your energy and conviction towards achieving those goals many fold, and you'll help eliminate the doubts. Repetition is vital. Just keep the repetition on the goals in your mind. Build your internal beliefs. Grow your possibilities. That's what it's all about. Release the energy. Pull past fears, roadblocks and self-doubt. Emotional intelligence, strengthen it. You've really got to focus on that. There's a term that I suggest you memorize and use periodically, and that is, I am afraid, I'll start again. I go where I am afraid to go. I do what I'm afraid to do, and I ask what I'm afraid to ask. Repeat. I go where I'm afraid to go. I do what I'm afraid to do, and I ask what I'm afraid to ask. If you do that, repeat that many times every day, whenever you've got any fear, and each day do something that you do fear, that you are afraid of, you'll find that you'll start driving your emotional intelligence much more effectively. Relationship skills, we'll work on those each session, because we'll be reminding you each session about the behavioural model that we looked at, the behavioural styles, and how you're using those as we go. So work with that behavioural style guide we went through, review it before and after you meet with anybody, and make sure you change your style, adapt your style to the customer's style when you're in the meeting. And if you're in the meeting and you realise that you're starting to understand that customer style, doesn't hurt to change and adapt your style in the middle of a meeting. And you'll get very good at that over a period of time. Principles and process. By applying them, as I said, it becomes habitual. By applying the principles we learnt, by applying the six-stage process, it will become habitual. So you need to, it's going to be hard work, you need to apply it and not try and take shortcuts. You will get results, you'll start seeing results in the short term, but once it becomes habit, it will drive massive results in the long term. So you need to enhance your view of the sales profession. Our profession is noble, our profession is brilliant. It drives value for other people, it drives value for ourselves, it really helps change the world for the better. So we need to look at our sales profession very positively. We need to focus on our own abilities, our values, our commitment to change, and continually reinforce the belief in our product, the fact that our product can underpin significant value for our customers. We just have to find out what that value is. So as you focus on the 5 ingredients and use the ADANC process, you'll begin to reach your heightened degree of harmony. It has happened time and time again for others before you. From people just beginning their sales career to seasoned sales performers. So, what have I done? We focused on the 5 core ingredients that highly successful people have in common. We discussed how you can apply these to achieve success and how you need to do that through ongoing experience to become part of your habitual approach. We've talked about how your sales can increase by strengthening your customer relationships, using some of the relationship skills we talked about. You'll notice as you do this, your confidence and energy and beliefs will exponentially improve. What you'll have learned, if applied properly, will make an enormous difference. So now, practice the suggestions, commit to your potential, commit to your growth, and watch your results take off. I promise you.